All right, so we got more and more Republicans hinting they may be willing to budge on tax increases in order to avoid the fiscal cliff. So is the tide kind of turning on Capitol Hill? Joining us with more on all of this, Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Senator, thank you for taking the time to be with us. You know, a lot of news today about how many Republicans who had one sign Grover Norquist's vote for no tax increases now kind of turning on the tides a little. You never signed that petition, that pledge. How come?
Well, I'll tell you, Tracy, I've never signed that pledge, but I do believe that the solution is to not raise taxes, but it's rather to cut spending. That's really what would be the courageous political act, to say we cannot continue to spend money in this country the way we have. And the new poll out today says that people believe that if taxes are raised, what's going to happen is the government is just going to spend more money. They're not going to use it to pay off either the debt or to lower the deficit.
You instead, though, sponsored the cut, cap, and balance approach. We're not even really hearing much talk about that, are we? We're really just talking raising taxes. We're not hearing anything about entitlements. How come?
Well, I was one of the co-sponsors of the cut, cap, and balance, which actually involved balancing the budget. Families do that. I was in Wyoming over the weekend, and families balance their budgets. Our state, by law, has to balance its budget every year. I think we should have a constitutional amendment to balance the budget of the United States, because we have a $16 trillion debt. You can't stay a strong and independent nation if you continue to have that kind of debt to another nation, specifically the amount of money that we're borrowing from China. We have to get our financial house in order, and I think that the elections are over. People ought to put away their talking points, and it's time for the president to actually lead, to offer proposals, and to come up with a real solution that addresses the long-term problems that we're facing with these entitlements, with Medicare, with Social Security. Those are the two tidal waves that are coming at us. When he says, do the arithmetic, that's where the big numbers are, Tracy.
Agreed. We have 35 days, though, and someone has to give somewhere, and taxes are going to come up. Where are you willing to give a little as far as tax reform goes? Because we're not going to see a new Internal Revenue Code before the end of the year. So we have to work with what we have. Where can you budge a little?
Well, we've actually had a couple of dry runs at this in the past couple of years. It's time now for people to get together and do the major solving of the problem, which is deal with entitlements, deal with Medicare, deal with Social, and look at this health care law, the president's health care law, that should be on the table as well. The amount of money that's going to be put forward is in terms of money for people with incomes of up to $90,000 a year at a time when we are this kind of debt. This country cannot afford that. We can't afford that. We can't continue to put this sort of a burden on the hardworking families of America.
3.8% on investment income is a killer, too. Quickly, I have like 10 seconds. I know you also sponsored a bill to get the Keystone XL pipeline going again. Where do we stand on that?
18 of us, 9 Republicans, 9 Democrats, all sent a letter to the president saying, approve the pipeline, it's jobs, it's energy security, and it's additional tax revenue for the United States.
It certainly would help. Senator John Barrasso, thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy down there.
Thank you, Tracy.